What's up, Roulette Fools? Brent with AOB. Okay, here for yet another session number 11. We're going to do something a little different today, but let's just take a recap. We ended yesterday. We made $10.20. That put our bankroll at $159.66. Doing great. I hope you guys are following along. I hope you're controlling those impulse urges to do better bets. Today, we're going to do musical strats. Some of you don't know what it is. Some of you do. Basically, you can see here, I pushed myself in the middle. You can see here, I have these strategies listed. What we're going to do is we're going to start at the top and play. As soon as we win even 1 penny, we move on to the next strat, and then we rinse and repeat. The way I do it is I start with the highest coverage. So we're starting with 5 double streets, 30 numbers, Gladiator 29, CYA 28. This is Centipede 1 and 4. This is 9 streets, and I'll choose one or the other, probably follow the winner. That's 27. Scouser is 27, 2 dozens, that's 24, Chaos is 18, and an outside 1-to-1 bet, that's all 18. I usually try to get it on black. All right, let's get started right now. Let me move myself out of the way. Here we go. We're going to start with 5 double streets. We've got 20-cent units here, and for a total bet. Now, again, please resist the urge to want to start increasing your bets. It's so easy to start going, oh, I'll just place dollar bets. Keep your bets small. And darn, I have a bet on black here, apparently. I don't know. I accidentally clicked that. So let's hope we get a $5 street plus a bet. Otherwise, it'll just neutralize. And even if we win and it's a red, then we basically, we just did a spin for nothing. That's okay. But remember, as soon as we win just an iota, 1 penny, I move on. Now, you can do this any way you want if you choose to play this. I'll tell you why I like this. There we go. Boom, look at that. We got a double banger because it hit black and one of our wins. Now we're going to move on. We're moving on to Gladiator. This is the biggest bet I have in the group because I have 10-cent minimum bets here. And I wanted to play on the instant tables here. Now, some of you don't like the instant tables. I do. I've had the success I've had here mirrors any other table with a live dealer. And in fact, for the most part, I do better on the instant tables than I do the live dealer. I've had a real tough go of it on the live French Evo and Prague tables. The ratios just are terrible for me. All right, there's a hit. And that's a win. And we just keep going down the line. See how nice this is? And now I'll tell you why I like this. A couple reasons. One, it's not boring. You get to change strategies. Every time you win, you move on. Number 2, statistically, it probably doesn't, but I can tell you what, it's a lot harder to run into these long losing streaks when you're constantly switching your configuration and your strategy. At least that's my experience. I'm not saying that that's what will happen because, again, mathematically, I don't know. But I feel like when I'm hopping down the strategy list, it's a lot better. There's a win for me, and I'm going to be playing this more. All right, so that was CYA. We're going to Centipede 4. I'm going to do follow the winner because it hit on a 36. Here we go. So this is a 9 street. This will return 3 units or a 30-cent profit. So that's the one reason I like it, because it's moving down, and I feel like, not saying it actually is the truth, but it feels like I can sort of avoid these long streaks. And it also helps me from getting stubborn on a strategy and just chasing. If I know I'm going to go, and I give myself a limit on how many progressions with each one before I call it quits. And for me, that's 3. Okay. So if I lose 2 before I recover, I take a break. All right. I take a break. That way it keeps you from any one of these from chasing it too long. All right. That was 9 streets. Now we're going to go to Scouser, which we did in the previous video. And this is also 27 numbers. So it's the same. Normally I only have 1 of each, but because we did so well on Scouser, I'm going to add it to my run up here, my lineup, and see how it goes. So those are the biggest reasons why, and it looks like we're kind of locked up here. You can see it goes. Some people say this is it's CGI or it's AI. I think they're legit tables, and I haven't noticed any difference. Some people say, oh, well, they'll put you on the one table that you're going to most likely lose on. I've placed big bets on here. I've played it. This instant table is where I've had my biggest winning streaks. I think it was 23 in a row for me, 23 in a row playing 5 double streets. I know some other people have had 40 or something, but 23 numbers, that was on here. The other thing I like about this musical strats is that it breaks up the monotony of just playing. If you feel like it's monotonous for you, it's just something a little different. All right, we're going to 2 dozens, and I'm going to follow the last 2 winners. In this case, the last 2 winners were 27 and 10. Now, this is on multiple tables, so this follow the winner, follow loser stuff, it doesn't really matter. But as I told you in other sessions, what I like about just selecting some sort of strategy with where you're going to bet and how you're going to do things, it takes that mental load off of you. So I've already committed before I started playing going, I'm just going to play follow the winner, whether or not it makes sense because you're on multiple tables and there's no dealer bias, right? So I'm just going to stick with it. And that's what I'm going to do. Let's see if it works. And so far we're crushing it. Look at that. We are 6-0, but that will catch up to us. All right. That was 2 dozen. And we are going to go to controlled chaos. Remember, that's 2 units on either high or low and 1 unit on the corresponding dozen. All right, that's closest to wherever you put it. So if you do high, you're going to put it 1 unit on the 3rd dozen. If you do low like this, 2 units on 1 to 18, 1 unit on the dozen. So yeah, I like the breakup. You get to look through here and go, okay, the monotony, breaking it up a little bit. And I think this is just a really, really, really fun way to play it. Boom, look at that. We are crushing it. Now, this is the one that runs me into the most problems. The trying to finish AllonBlack. So for me, color has always been brutal for me. So I start on AllonBlack, and the way I play this is I do 2. If I lose 2, I look for one of the other ones that have won twice in a row. So let's say there's 2 highs, 2 odds, 2 evens, and I start betting the opposite. If I lose 2 there, I do it again. Like, okay, so there we go. There's our first loss. And of course, it's on AllonBlack. Now I'm doing super martingale, right? So we're doubling and adding 1 unit, which in this case is 20 cents. Our unit's 20 cents, okay? So I'm doing it that way. When I do win, instead of just going up in profit ahead 20 cents from where I was before I lost, I'm going to go up 1 unit for every loss I had. So we'll go up. If we win this, we'll be up 40 cents above here. Our profit will be at $3.40 instead of $3.20, right? All right, there we go. Boom, look at that. We're already at $3, and dang, burn it, I forgot to put the timer on, but we are at, what is that, 9 spins. So I'm going to say we've been going, let's just call it, I'm going to call it five minutes. All right. I'm going to call it 5 minutes. Actually, let's call it 7 minutes, 6 minutes. Let's settle at 6. Okay. Another thing I want you to consider, along with our time boxing our sessions and making sure you're staying tight, meaning you're not starting to get your bets out of progression size. You're starting to get reckless, right? There's a couple things I want you to think about. The first is, don't focus on your end goal, which in this case, right? My end goal is $10,000, right? I want to get to the 10,000. Do not focus. Do not let that be the focus of your goal. Focus only on your daily, right? What's in front of you. If you start looking at 10,000, it seems like, 100 million miles away. That's going to probably, goat you into bigger bets than's necessary. Just focus on whether you're doing a 5%, whether you're doing a flat, like I am doing a flat $7 a day, whatever that is, whatever you decide to do, focus on that and that alone. Today is the day. This is it. And I think if you focus on a 5 or 7 target, that will help you going, oh, I'm going to start putting dollar unit bets, $3 unit bets, $5 unit bets. Because if you look at it that way, you go, oh, all I need to do is get 2 hits and I'm done, right? Look at this. We are absolutely crushing it. Now we're going to go Centipede 1, which is 9 streets. And it's covering these first 9 and it pays 3 units, right? 9 streets pays 3 units. So our unit is 10. So we're making 30 cents. So do yourself a favor and just focus on the goal at hand. The rest, I promise you, will take care of itself, okay? That end goal will take care of itself. And you can go back through previous histories. I did a 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000. And that happened to be just a really lucky target session because, I mean, it went phenomenally. I mean, I think I went from 1,000 to 10,000 like in 8 days, but I was playing way more aggressive back then. I wasn't doing it for to show you guys how to follow along. This one, I want you guys to follow along and I want you to do well. So keep it tight, all right? Keep it tight and stay the course. Don't deviate. And I love hearing where you guys are at in your journey. So post in the comments how you're doing, where you're at, what your bankroll is. If you started at like 400 or 500, just put your starting bankroll and where you're at now. Okay. So that I can go, oh, because if you just put, yeah, I'm at 550. Oh, there's a loss. Okay. So we are going to just double up. Now, sometimes if I'm not kind of cramped on my bankroll or being conservative, I'll do super martingale on this one. So double it plus add one base unit. I like the super martingale on it. I like the recovery. But for right now, we're just going to play 2x. It's a $4 bet. We lose this one, we go down one. So if I were playing on my own, and this is what I was talking about, 2 losses before you recover, you take a break. So if I lose right here, I'm actually going to pause the video and I'm going to come back later. I'm going to practice what I preached today. All right, there's 1 win and I get 2 losses before a recovery and I will take probably a 10-minute break. I'll pause the video and we'll just come back and pick up. It's kind of good just to give yourself that chance. It keeps you from chasing too hard, right? Go stand up. I think I told you guys this. I have an alarm set at my watch. Oh, we would have really loved. Okay, would have loved that 0. There's 2 losses. Of course, it comes on the Scouser. I told you I have a love-hate relationship with Scouser. It either kicks my bahootie or it does well for us. It did well for us the other day, but right now, there's 2 of our 3 losses is on Scouser. So I'm going to take a quick break and I will come back. Our time is at 4.5 minutes right now. I'm just going to let this run and we'll return and we'll see how long the break is. All right, we'll come back maybe at 15 minutes after. All right, cheers. Hmm. I am not coming back to Scouser. Could certainly give us a banger on 0-2. It's just not a strategy. It's not a daily driver strategy for me, but I do like it. It's just not a daily driver. I do like it. It's just not a daily driver. And for recovery, I'm not crazy about it for recovery because of all those you only get 4 units on those 3 streets, 12 numbers, but you get 16 numbers at 7 units. That's only marginally better than if you do 9 streets. So if you were doing that same bet with 9 streets, right? You'd be doing $18 instead of a $20 bet, and you'd be making $6 every win instead of a 7 and a 4 or a banger on 0 and 2. So if I have the choice between 7 and 4 or everything at 6, I'm only 1 short from the 7, but I'm 2 up from the 4, right? So to me, that's a better value proposition. But you don't get the banger here on the 0-2, and we got that the other day, right? Okay, fools, we're back. I'm back a little bit sooner than I wanted to because I'm live streaming today and I'm running out of time. So I want to get this video. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I have lost 2 on Scouser. I'm not going back to Scouser to continue recovering. You can, or whatever strategy you are on, if you're comfortable with that one and that's what you want as your recovery, go for it. 5 double streets, I much prefer that over Scouser or even 9 streets or any of these other ones for my recovery, right? And for me, losing that much, losing pretty much everything we had, plus going down on Scouser, I don't want to keep chasing that strategy. And that's, to me, the advantage of this musical strats is you don't have to stick with one. In fact, you lose one, there's so many ways to play this. You could go right back up to the beginning and start again. You don't have to do 2 losses. So as soon as you get 1 loss, you could go to your favorite strategy and do your recovery from right there, okay? So you can see we've got a ways to go. That's a $4 bet. I'm going to be a little bit more risky here because, like I said, I am pushed for time right now. I got to get ready for my live stream. But so we're going to press it a little bit here. And I think if I lose this bet right here, if I lose, we're just going to call it a day. I would normally come back, and I think I will do another session and add that to the end of this because that's real life. That's what you should be doing. If you get to a spot, you're going to come back and do another session. Never chase any one session too deep, okay? Because what you're going to find is you chase it so deep and then it's really difficult. If we stop and we're $8 to $10 under, we could literally stop for the rest of the day, and that's only 1.5 days of loss. That is okay. Remember, let's not look at the target of 10,000. Just focus right here, and it's okay to lose a day, even 2 days. But if you chase it hard, you lose a week, you lose 2 weeks, that becomes very difficult. All right, I'm going to rebet, and let's see if we can get there. This is 5 double streets, right? So, all right, $1.60 each. We make $1.60 on each of these. It's a $1.60 unit. So we got to get a little luck here. And what I would suggest, remember I told you last time, I'm going to push it because I really only want to have 1 session today because after the live stream, I'm going to be pretty tired. I would suggest, even if you're up here, just start all over again. You're already in profit at $1.20 or $2. You don't need to push it all the way up to there, right? $5 is our high. I'm going to push it because I really only want 1 session today, but you can stop it at any point, and I highly recommend you do because You don't want to get in that cycle. I mean, we lose an $8 bet. Suddenly we're down, right? We're down $4.20. And then you're like, oh, why didn't I just stop when I was up $2.20? Profit is profit. And especially since you guys are hopefully able to play multiple sessions a day, it's okay. Boom, we're at 540. All right, we're gonna just now walk on back down our line. We did our 5 double streets. That's my go-to for recovery. You can choose whatever you want. I think Control Chaos is also another really good one for recovery because that's got that banger on that dozen. But in order to, if you want to increase your bets, I get a little bit skittish on starting on such a higher bet for my recovery. I would rather cover 30 numbers. That's where I feel comfortable. But again, maybe you want to go down to 1-to-1 bets and increase it slightly and still grind away. Okay. So a lot of choices there. Just keep it tight. Keep focused on what the overall goal is. And your goal is to make money every single day and get your bankroll to a point where that money every single day is paying serious dividends. All right, here we go. All right. Because when your bankroll starts getting big, really nice in size to where your 3 to 5% is a substantial amount. I mean, think about it this way. If you can make $100 a day, roughly in a month, if you were to play every single day, roughly in a month, right? How much is that? $100 a day times 30. That's right. That's a lot of money. All right, here we go. What did I just do? Okay, we're going to go C4. Let's see how this treats us, right? I mean, $300 a day, that's $9,000 a month. $100 a day, that's $3,000 every single month. If you were to play every single day, that's not really realistic. So kind of think about that. Think about if you're looking to see how much you're going to make, I suggest you go maybe 4 days, calculate 4 days a week. So 4 times 4, roughly 16 days. I think that's a better way of looking at it. All right, we got our Bahooty kick there. I'm going to go a 3X here. I'm going to do a 3X recovery because this is a one-hit recovery on 9 streets. And it's a $2.70 bet. And if I lose this one, I'm pulling the plug. I'm going to walk away because I will still walk away with $2.70. I'd rather walk away $2.70 than to be down again and lose and be down. Although, I mean, I could repeat the bet because we have exactly 540. So that's 2 of these bets, but I'm not going to. I'm going to treat this as a session. And after my live stream, I'll come back and do another session. All right. But yeah, I like if you calculate about 15 days a week. If you're going to say, I'm going to make this much a day, you got to give yourself breaks. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're pulling the plug right there. It's not going our way. The 27 numbers kicked our butt. Scouser and Centipede, both of those, no bueno for us on this particular session. So we're going to call it quits. I'll see if I can get another session in and we'll play another session and we're just going to start all over. When you start your next session, don't pick up where you left off in terms of your progressions. I'm not going to do another double bet of the 270 that I had here. I'm going to start at musical strats all over again. And we're going to grind up. Even if we make another 270, we'll be up at 540. We'll have our target today, one way or another. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Be good humans. Us against the casinos. Cheers. Okay, fools, we're back for a second session. Last time we left off with a profit of $2.70. We were up higher, but then we fell. We're just going to resume right where we picked off in terms of where we left off in terms of just starting over. We're not going to try to catch up. We're just going to go back to playing musical strats the way we did. Again, you don't have to play this. You don't have to play the same thing each session. Play what works for you. And if you find a strategy that's working, just stick with it. It may get monotonous. It may, but I don't know, winning, I never get tired of winning. So if you're doing this and you find one and you're like, oh, I don't feel comfortable, don't do it. You don't have to do any of these things, okay? And if you start crashing, you get a couple losses and you go take your break and you come back, feel free to stop and switch up strategies at any point. Okay, here we go. We're going to just keep going though. So we're at 270. It would be nice to get at least $3 here. So again, this is a second session. So we're going to play for about 10 minutes and then I might get a little gutsy and increase it so that I can keep and get closer to that $7. Again, I'm limited, but you guys are not in your sessions, okay? So do not feel you can make $1 and walk away, 50 cents and walk away. You got more opportunities. All right, here we go. 80 cents, so far so good. So let's see where we can get at 10 minutes. If we get anywhere close to say $4 profit in this session, that would give us $6.70. We're golden, or even, I'd even take $3. Because remember, we're going for a 3 to 5% nice to have, but we're time boxing it. That's the most important thing. So don't forget that. All right, there we go. All right. And that was COIA. So we're going to go Centipede 1. Here we go. Centipede 1. Again, this is 9 streets. I call it Centipede because it's all linked together. It looks like a centipede, right? We also have Millipede. I need to show you guys Millipede. It's a variation of Centipede, but the payouts are slightly different because you're putting units on the double streets or the line bet in between these street bets. So it pays a little less on these outside winners, but it pays more on these inside. It's a variation. I like it. Again, I think it's a novelty. I've said it, I'll say it again, I'll say it again, I'll say it again. Simple, to me, simple's best. So you'll notice all these strategies, there's really nothing complicated about all these, and some of them are just literally a rehash of the others. All right, here we go to Scouser. This is what Scouser got us in trouble. I got to be careful to say Scouser. In my dialect, in my accent, I pronounce that Scouser, more like almost a Z, Scouser. And Dave was like, that's not Scouser, it's Scouser. So I'm like, okay. So I try really hard because you guys know, if you've been watching me, I like to pronounce your guys' names correctly. Oh my goodness. And we're starting off right where we left off. David. All right. I was telling Brad, I was like, oh yeah, the next video coming up is Scouser. And he's like, yeah, I'm not playing that. So give it your go. It's 27 numbers. Again, my preference is on just straight up 9 streets because they pay, if we were paying with the same dollar amount, they all pay 6 units versus this one plays 7 units or 4 units. So there's a nice 7 unit hit, but we got to repeat. All right, let's go. And if we can get another corner, but you do have that little ace in your hole, which is this 0 and 2, which pays 16 units. Those are definitely nice bangers, nice to have. So, all right, let's see what we can do here. 4 minutes. We're at 80 cents. There's another corner. That's a great hit for us. All right, there we go. So we're going to go to 2 dozen. And we are just going to go, I mean, again, this is the instant table. There's 12 tables here. So saying you're going to play follow the winner, I mean, it doesn't mean as much as it does when you're on a single table, right? If you believe in dealer bias, if you believe in the probabilities of it landing on certain places. I mean, this, you don't know. I mean, this is a box of chocolates, right? You just don't know what you're going to get, right? A little Forrest Gumpy here. So let's see. All right, we'll take it though. Boom. All right, that's 2 dozen. We're going to go to controlled chaos. It was on a 24, right? So we're going to play follow the winner on this. And it went on the 24. Now that would win on either one, but it would be a break even if we were low. Remember, we got 2 units on low, 1 unit on the dozen. Our banger is this 3rd dozen right here because it's taking advantage of both of these bets. And I like this one. I like controlled chaos a lot. I might be playing this more as we get along. Oh, great. Okay. Here we go. We're going to martingale this bad boy up. And I like this because, man, you hit that 1st dozen or the 3rd dozen, and you are going to get a really, really nice recovery, especially as you start getting deeper and deeper. Now, I believe after it gets to, say, like the 8th or 9th progression, I don't believe, maybe even the 7th progression, that one hit stops being, it does not get you into profit. So you're going to want to hit, I believe, like in the first 5 or 6. Wow, that was a funky roll. See, it bounced off and then rolled all the way around. All right, but that's what we're looking for. Look at that nice banger, 320. And we're going to go at outside bet, where this is the bane of my existence, this outside color bet, black. I've said it before. I'll tell you guys again, if you're new to the channel, go back in the video history on the channel and look for the 100K finale. There's 2 of them because on the first one, there it is. Beautiful. And we're going to do Super Martingale. So we're going to put 3 units here, double it plus 1 base unit. We were $100 away from $100,000 target. And we decided, the team we were all time, we said, okay, when we get to $100 away, we're going to place $100 on black and we're going to finish up the 100,000 on black. To make a long story short, it went on a massive red run and then some 5 double streets. Anyway, I ended up down like $60,000. You know, I'm going to be stubborn here. I'm just going to stick with it. I'm cursed. I am cursed on these outside bets. I really am. All right, we're super martingaling. So if we win, we're going to win 1 unit, which in this case is 20 cents every time. Or how much is it? Yeah, 20 cents for every time we spun. This is our 3rd progression. When we win this, we'll go up 60 cents above where we were at, which was 320. If we win this one, we'll be at a $3.80 profit. And that's why for the outside bets, I really like Super Martingale. Oh my God. I'm just going to be stubborn here for a hot second. I got to do it. Sorry, guys. I told you how I normally play this. If I lose 2, I look for one that's gone 2 in a row. And you can see down here, well, I'll move myself for a hot second over here. You can see down here, I would have gone high on this because we've lost several. The low, I would have gone high. So I look for any 2 of a row, whether it's 2 evens, 2 odds, 2 highs, 2 lows. And I do the opposite from then for another 2. If I lose those 2, I look for a different pair. If there's nothing, you sit out and wait. You got to be kidding me. This is redonkulous. This literally, I think this irritates me more than losing big bets. This really does. This whole thing with not being able to hit the outside black bets. I mean, it is insane the kind of bad luck I have on this thing. All right, let's go. This is a $6.20 bet. This is definitely a time when you pull the plug. I'm being stubborn here. Okay. Oh, this is incredible. I got to do it just because I need to see just how stupid this is going to get. I'm getting a little hot under the collars. I'm not kidding here. I'm getting a little bit irritated. This is BS. Look at this. But it happens, man. It happens. That's why I rarely just play the colors. I don't know what it is about the colors, but I can't stand it. And this is a $12.60 bet. We're doing what I don't want you to do. Finally. All right. So that's it. We got 440 plus our 270. That's $7.10 overall. So $7.10. I won't bring in the spreadsheet here. I'll clip it and put it onto the video at the end here and overlay it on here. So this is our second session. Again, this is more of the do as I say, don't do as I say, not as I do segment of the video here. So just realize I want to make it very clear. There's times when I won't follow it, but in general, please follow the principles. I will try generally to lead by example for you guys, but there's going to be some times where I'm just going to go because there's a little part of that still needs to be a little bit of entertainment in this, right? All right, that's it for today. Stick to the plan. Do as I say, not as I do. Be good humans. Us against the casino always. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.